Well, hello there, and welcome to my masterclass. Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Bedroom Days. Today, we're gonna talk about wet ones because, um, because
It's like I don't have.
this song is the first song that is actually a collaboration. And believe it or not, it wasn't my intention. Anyway, it came about 2 years ago when I just called my friend Kai over to just mess around with a couple of instruments. And Kai also happens to be the dude who plays guitar for me live when I play with the gang. We're just, messing with the effects and came out with some really spacey stuff. And I knew at that point it had to be a track. And I laid some synth stuff over it, and it was going places. And at that point, Kai just said, look, I know someone plays the sax, and he can do so much more to this track. And in came Hassan. So he came over and laid down some sexy sax lines. And at that point, the track felt golden. And for those of you who are not exactly familiar with Hassan, he actually plays for a couple of bands in Singapore, including the Pinholes, where interestingly, he plays the drums, not the sax. So he's one hell of a talented guy. After that whole shebang, I figured, look, this is one strong track that we got over here, and I decided to, put a bit more production into it and did the vocals and whatnot. But I think a lot of you will sort of empathize with me when I say that it's just some songs that just end up going nowhere. I call it the purgatory because you just try your best and you do so much to give it life, but it just doesn't feel right. And it stayed in purgatory for me for at least a year, I would say, until I decided, you know what, maybe the bass line that I laid down isn't exactly good enough. And I handed it over to my friend Jorge Palomo, who's in the US, and he's a god at bass. Plays for a lot of talented acts, including Neon Indian. I just gave the track to him, just did my own thing with the other tracks I was writing at the time. And when he gave it back, boy oh boy, it was something else. At that point I felt the track is done, golden, and that was essentially what was missing. And I think it's really funny that sometimes you can't really put your finger to it until you get a perspective that's outside. And that's really what I needed. You could do whatever you want with your artwork, even anything for the matter, but sometimes you just need to give a little faith to your friends or people who you feel that get you, and they are able to give you, a perspective that you lack, because we're only human. Houg's a one piece. It's always been me from the first chord to the final master, so having that kind of perspective was really invigorating for me, because now I'm all ears and all I have all the rage for to do collaborative work. And it's thanks to this song, man. If it wasn't for the big talents that were helping me out, it would have not seen the light of day. And I need to emphasize here that doing collaborative work does not necessarily mean finding the most talented person or who's the biggest name in town or whatnot. For me, it came from a very sincere place of just letting my friends share their perspective, and because it was honestly that we were able to have the best platform to be as honest as we can with each other, and above everything else, just understand each other. The result of that is a track that I really love. You know, sometimes you can try to, work as hard as you can to get something out the door, but it may just not be enough. And once you let that guard down and allow people to help you out with that, so much more can happen. And let that be my message to you guys today. If you're really on the fence with wanting to do something with someone, with your craft, don't be afraid, just ask. I've tried it myself. It's not necessarily always going to give you the results you might want, but it's always worth a try. And when you do get it down, something amazing will happen. Have a good one.